US macroeconomic events are driving the market right now. That's why there's so much uncertainty and negative sentiment going on. The market is waiting for tariffs from the US to many other countries and how they react as they go into effect this week. But we're here to tell you and show you that the global events happening right now are super bullish for the market. Let's see why. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, Altcoin Buzz, and as always, not financial advice, and wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Tariffs from the US on products from China, South Korea, Canada, and more hit the market this week. And reactions like this cooperation between China and South Korea are scaring the market. Then add what we think we know about tariffs, things like they limit free trade, they add costs that are usually passed on to the customer, so the public pays more, and how the US in particular doesn't make many products anymore, so Americans still need these products, but will just have to pay more for them. And then add that many people don't believe Trump, even on the Trump-friendly Fox News, when he says goods won't cost more. All that adds up to market uncertainty, and people unsure of what will happen and how it will affect their budgets. And so that's obviously bad, right? Well, short term it definitely is, but there's more to it than that. Crypto native investment firm and ETF operator Bitwise is one of the biggest voices among many saying tariffs are bullish for Bitcoin. Here's their head of strategy, Jeff Park, talking about it. To sum up his thoughts, Trump and the US want a weak dollar. They want this dollar while still maintaining reserve currency status, and then they can still borrow at much lower rates than any other country on Earth. And both of these points of a weak dollar and more USD borrowing are bullish for Bitcoin. Others have caught on to this idea as well, including what you're seeing on screen right now. This theory assumes that the short term will be negative or at best confusing, but that Bitcoin will rise against the dollar even faster if the tariffs come online. That is, instead of being used as a negotiating tool for better trade agreements with certain countries. Park continues that Trump's own bags in real estate need lower interest rates, especially in the 10-year bond, since they're one of the baselines for commercial real estate lending rates. So Trump needs a weaker dollar and for rates to come down. Some say this is why he's intentionally trying to crash the market, with a result of Jerome Powell finally lowering interest rates and printing more money. And more on the money printing in a second. The other reason that Trump needs lower interest rates is that $9.2 trillion of US debt needs to be refinanced in the next 12 months. And if rates don't come down, it will be catastrophic for the US, and not just the US. There will be ramifications worldwide. We all know one thing, whether you love or hate Trump or have no opinion, he does things that will help him personally first and foremost. And lowering interest rates helps him personally and helps for the rest of his presidency. So you can count on it that he'll be working to make this happen. As I mentioned earlier, the dollar weakening is bullish for Bitcoin, and then eventually for alts after that. So just stay with it, stick with your plan, and now let's talk about the money printing part of the equation. It looks like QE, or quantitative easing, could be coming soon, and this is a good explainer for it. It's where the Fed turns on the money printer and pumps money into the US economy. And we know it's not just the US economy, but the entire world sees more dollars. And if more dollars are chasing the same number of assets, then the asset prices rise. It's what we've seen with stocks, real estate, and Bitcoin. Marty Party, who's a macro analyst and has been on top of the Federal Reserve's actions, along with market maker sales, says that stealth QE has already started. And he's not the only one who thinks this. Yet it would be a complete reversal of the current reverse repo facility going on right now. Reverse repos or repurchases are designed to take some short-term liquidity out of the market and maintain a floor on short-term interest rates. It's a sign the Fed wants to keep short-term rates from dropping and stabilize the markets by managing liquidity. But as I mentioned earlier, short-term rates and long-term rates will need to come down to refinance all $9.2 trillion of US debt. And Arthur Hayes, formerly of BitMEX and the founder of the Maelstrom Fund, thinks that's exactly what will happen. The Fed will flip the switch and turn on the money printer once again. Hayes also projected a $250,000 price for Bitcoin after QE restarts. The bigger point is that the return to QE this quarter looks like a very poorly kept secret. There are others saying that the easing part of QE won't start soon, but that less of a QT or tightening will happen. The current QT policy is limiting liquidity in the markets, and an end to that is bullish as well, just less so than turning on the money printer again. These two big US macro policies of Federal Reserve liquidity and interest rates along with tariffs are giving us the tailwinds we need for further gains. That is, if you have the patience to wait and see them happen.